What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Run the World Season 2, Episode 3. So, Whitney done finally took her tail back to work, right? She got on a hot pink suit, she got on her heels, and she is walking in there like she has just conquered the world. And basically, she walks slam into a wedding gift, right? Somebody done sent her a treadmill that's sitting in her daggone office. Which basically totally deflates her balloon. Um, and she feels like nobody cares. Like, she feels like I walked back in work and there was nothing. Like, no, how you doing? How you been? It's just straight, to business. Because one of her coworkers, not Sandy, her name is Rhonda. She asked her, she's like, hey, I'm glad to see you back. The young black business people of color event is coming up, and could you be my sponsor? Because I guess it's one of those things where you have to be sponsored to get in until you become a member. And she was, Whitney was like, for real? Like, that's like, I walk in the door after y'all know what happened, and the first thing is you want a favor from me. And so she kind of blows her off, right? So while this is going on, Sandy and James, they're having themselves, Matthew, I said James. Sandy and Matthew are having themselves a good time, okay? They are getting it in, okay? And she gets a phone call from the professor who she's doing the TA, the summer TA for. And of course, he's like, are you really about to answer the phone? And she was like, I kind of have to. So she invites her to be a part of the student versus faculty debate that they have every year. And Matthew was like, she was like, oh my gosh, this is a great opportunity. And he was like, yeah, I'm happy for you. And she was like, really? Like, don't get weird. He was like, no, I really am. I'm happy for you. He was like, but you ain't going to win. I mean, the students never win. And she was like, yeah, okay, well, there's always time for something new, right? But she's excited about it. He's happy about it. But then the ceiling starts leaking. Well, we find out later on that he needs to get his roof replaced. And while they're doing the work, he has to stay at a hotel. But his insurance is only paying like $150 a night. And so, of course, like, what hotel you staying in New York for $150 a night, right? So Whitney was like, well, Sandy, you still have your apartment. Mind you, she still got her grad apartment that she never got rid of and she never told him about. And she was like, so now she been keeping it a secret from him for so long that now she's scared to tell him about it, right? And Whitney is kind of pulling her card a little bit. Whitney was like, I find it very interesting because you were the one that told me I needed to be honest with Olaf about what I did, but yet you sitting here lying to your man, and basically it cost me my man, but you sitting here chilling. And she was like, it's not the same thing. She was like, girl. Now, while this is going on, Renee was like, wait a minute, because Whitney let them know that, the person working in her office wanted to get her to sponsor her for the, the black women of color situation. And she was like, wait a minute. Like, if you going to sponsor anybody, you going to sponsor me. Like, I need to get in the door. My business is on life support, and I need to network. Like, I need to be in the room. And so Whitney was like, okay, girl, fine. Like, I don't care. Whitney could care less. So, they get to the event, and who is the first person that Whitney runs into? The girl from the office who she blew off, right? That is the first person she runs into. And she kind of puts the little, a little guilt trip on her. She was like, it's only 6 women of color in the office, and I thought we would look out for each other. Like, I basically had to, like, beg for this. I had to, like, stalk somebody on Twitter who I don't even barely know to get this invitation, and you were right there in the office. And Whitney was like, damn, like, okay, I feel you, So while they're at the event, a couple of things happen. First of all, they got Erica Alexander in there, child. I love her. I'm sorry that Ella left because we don't really have a reason to see her regularly, but they threw her in this episode, and I was loving it. She was giving us all that Erica Alexander energy. Renee was running around the room networking with anybody and everybody, child. She was working the room. And Whitney actually ended up running into an old friend from grad school. You could tell that the flirtation was there. He asked her out for a drink, and she was like, yeah, I'm just not ready for that, He said he had just come out of a bad breakup. She admitted that her and Olaf broke up. And she said, yeah, I'm just not ready, to do that. And he was like, I understand. Like, that's fine. I respect that, Um, but then Renee runs into this dude who's like in a tracksuit. He truly looked like he don't belong in the room. But you know he belongs in the room because you know how hard it was for you to get an invitation. So you know he belongs in the room. Come to find out, this dude is like some rich guy that created like an app that is like the rival to Spotify. So he is like like Eric Alexander's character was like, he the richest one in his room. Like she talking to, because they started off just kind of standing around like clowning people, and you know that's Renee thing. So he told her he wanted to take her out, and she was like, I don't think we should do that. He was like, well, oh, sorry. Um, so he said he wanted to take Renee out, and she was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, I'm here trying to network. And he was like, we could do both. You know, maybe we could do a little business, a little pleasure, you know, that kind of thing. Now, while this is going on, Sandy is down at her debate. And, you know, it's about critical race theory, which, child, don't even get me started on that. But the debate was good. And, you know, at first Sandy was being real quiet, a little meek, you know, a little like, eh. But then, baby, she got her sea leg, she got her mojo, and baby, she was doing the damn thing. And at the end of it, the students ended up beating the faculty, which was like the first time it had happened in like 8 years, you know. The professor was impressed. She was like, I'm so glad I chose you. I'm so impressed by what you did. And even Matthew gave her some props. You know, he gave her some props. I think his ego might have been a hit a little bit, but he gave her, you know, he definitely gave her some props on it, you know. Um, um, she said she was gonna go out for some drinks, you know, and later on that night they were gonna meet back up. So we see Olu on the phone with Renee's husband talking about, man, I'm back here. I'm back here where my life came crumbling down. He's standing out in front of Sandy's apartment, right? And he on the phone, and Renee's husband is like, bruh, like, why don't you come down here to Atlanta for a little while? Like, you really need to get out of the city. Like you really need to stop torturing yourself like that. He was like, man, nah, I'm good. I'm good. But then Sandy and Matthew come walking up. Matthew was like, oh my gosh, the memories. Oh, this old apartment. He was like, you don't miss it? See, this is where you be making things worse for yourself. Oh no, out of sight, out of mind. I don't miss it at all. So they run into Olu, and they were like, Olu, what are you doing down here? He was like, well, you know, I'm just down here, you know, reliving the moment my life changed. And Matthew was like, what you talking about? He was like, well, this is what Whitney told me. What do you mean this is what Whitney told you? Told you what? And he was like, you still got this apartment? Now Olu was like, damn, my bad. Like, I done messed up y'all relationship. So they end up going inside to argue about it. And Matthew was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you've been lying to me the whole time. Like, why would you hold on to this, and why would you lie to me about it? And she was like, I don't know. I just felt like I needed a piece of me for myself, you know? And he was like, so we weren't enough? And she was like, well, that's how I felt at the time, but I don't feel like that anymore. And, you know, so she apologized. I don't know how he feel about it, but she was like, well, at least we ain't got paid for a hotel room no more. Like, like, at least we ain't got to do that, you know? The other thing that happened was Whitney's co-worker did apologize. She said, you know, maybe I did a little too much. You're right. You know, I really wasn't thinking about you. I could have asked you how you were doing and how you were going, you know, how you were getting along. You're right. I could have done more and I didn't, you know. So that was pretty much the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Talk to y'all later. Peace.